Now let's check in on the situation in New South Wales. Stella Todorovic's at the RFS headquarters for us. Stella, the state of emergency began this morning.
That's right, Annalise, and for the third time in just 8 weeks, the RFS and police have been granted special powers to keep communities safe as the state braces for another weekend of extreme fire danger. Temperatures are going to soar tomorrow. Wagga Wagga could see temperatures as high as 45 degrees, and those strong winds are going to return. This is going to create erratic fire behaviour on the grounds, and it will be problematic for crews battling these blazes. A southerly change isn't expected to hit tomorrow until at least 6 hours later than it did on New Year's Eve.
We're expecting thunderstorms to develop over places in New South Wales as well tomorrow, so we will likely see some pyroconvective behaviour near the fires, which will exacerbate the fire situation on top of those hot, dry northwesterly winds.
Our pure focus for tomorrow is about the preservation of life. We've already seen some areas that we're quite concerned about our ability to defend, areas like Batlow in southern New South Wales, where we are quite concerned just with how big the fires are.
And Stella, the Emergency Services Minister for New South Wales is returning from his holiday ahead of tomorrow.
That's right, and David Elliott has faced a lot of criticism for deciding to take leave during this time. He left for Europe just 1 week after the Prime Minister returned from his trip to Hawaii. He still decided to go despite the backlash that Scott Morrison faced upon his return during this bushfire crisis, but he did declare that he would come back if the situation got worse, and indeed it did, and very quickly. However, the minister that's stepping in for him, Anthony Roberts, says that there's been a plan in place this whole time, and the minister has stayed briefed while he's been away.
Well, what I've found talking to people who've been rural fire service members for decades, in fact, that this has been an unprecedented fire season. We've seen weather events and fire events that certainly haven't been recalled in this generation. And again, Minister Elliott has made it quite clear that if things were going to get worse, that he would return, and he is returning.
David Elliott is on his way back, and he is expected to return to Sydney before tomorrow's worsening conditions. So far this week, Annalise, 8 people have been killed in those fires on the South Coast, and 449 homes have been destroyed since New Year's Eve. It's going to be another long few days ahead for the fire crews and those nervous residents and tourists who are hoping to leave in time.
It will indeed. Stella Todorovic, thank you. We'll check in with you again soon. Now, today is the final window of opportunity for residents and tourists on the New South Wales South Coast to make it to safety. Thousands of people are being ordered out of towns and national parks. Julia Bradley filed this report from Batemans Bay.
Authorities on the New South Wales South Coast are bracing for another mass exodus of holidaymakers and residents similar to scenes experienced yesterday. A major section of the Princes Highway has been reopened between Milton and Tomarong after an earlier closure because of a dangerous bushfire. Road closures will be subject to change as active fires, burnt out falling trees and power lines still pose a major risk.
We have a holiday house down there, so we luckily get to go there a lot, but we really were worried about everyone else and everyone being safe. But it's, so we're now heading home as per the request. We're all very keen to get out of there. No one wants to be there for this weekend.
The tourist leave zone has been extended past the South Coast to include Cancoban, Snowy Monaro, Shoalhaven, Batlow and Wandalga. Some families travelling north of Malua Bay yesterday reported moving just 80 kilometres in 6.5 hours. Supplies are still dwindling on the South Coast. Motorists are being advised to fill up their cars with petrol sooner rather than later and stock up on food and drink as they travel north.